What's up, everyone? It's Matt Mrozik, aka MVM397, with an unboxing for you today. So this is the 135 GP03. This is from G System Best, originally from G System Shop. So this is a recast of the G System Shop kit. As you see, it comes in two boxes, as it's a fairly large mobile suit, fairly large model, I should say. And surprisingly, with as big as it is, it fits in these two boxes. I've owned this kit before from G System Shop, so I'm curious to see what this looks like from G System Best. You can tell it's from G System Best because they have their logo GSB. It's more of a standard box with just a label on front. The G System Shop box would have like graphics all over the box and everything. There wouldn't be like the sticker on it, and it'd have a holographic sticker from G System Shop. So that's how you know if you buy a kit from someone, or if you're getting a GSB or a G System Shop kit. It's got the holographic sticker, it's G System Shop. If it's more of a plain box, it's G System Best. Now, I've had a few G System Best kits, and I've been really happy with all of them. I know some people have bought kits and said that the details are a little soft. I've been lucky and haven't had that issue yet. So, just to give you an idea of the size of the boxes, it's about 11 inches wide, about 5.5 inches tall, or deep I should say, and about 18 inches long. So good size, pretty hefty. They give you the stats of the kit up here. Overall height of about 70 centimeters, so a little over 2 feet. The shoulder width is 34 centimeters, so a little over a foot. The depth is 45 centimeters. That's pretty deep because you have these kind of wings coming off the back with the thruster, so it's a fairly deep kit. So that may limit, where I can put this when it's done, because it is, it takes up quite a bit of shelf space. Not because it's so wide, but just because it's so deep. The weight is 15 kilograms. I don't know what that is in pounds, so anyone who knows that, let me know. About 557 resin pieces, 7 pieces of clear resin, 8 pieces of heat press clear parts. So those clear vacuum form parts, there's 8 pieces, and that's for like the sensor on the head, the eyes, the chest, and the knees and the ankles. Because there's quite a few LEDs. You can see here from the shot of the inner frame, all these lights that are hanging off. These go in the arms and the head and everything. So when you have all the armor off, the lights just kind of hang out. It looks kind of weird. Let's see, 16 screws, rubber cords, water decals. The GSP, well, the normal price from G System Shop when it was first released was $1,700. I did not pay that for this because it's GSP. I paid, I think, like $830 shipped, which is really good. So let's crack it open and see what we got. We'll look at box number 1 and see what's inside. And as with all my unboxings, I'm not going to take every single thing out, because once you take it out, it is hard to get back in. But at least you get a sense of the quality of the casting and such from GSP. So first thing when you open, we get our pictures. And just like G System Shop, we probably get 3. That's my guess. Oh, we get 4. So, nice shot of the front, a couple of shots of the frame with all the armor off, and then a nice close-up of the upper torso. So, like I said, I've owned this kit before, and a long time ago, Matt Tomchek painted it for me, and it looked really, really good, and I had to sell it because I needed money. So I owned the finished kit for roughly like a month, and then I had to sell it. Alright, instructions. And I believe the decals are in the back. Here are the decals. And these are pre-cut, just like G System Shop. And they look really good. There's not a whole lot of them. So I guess you can always have more made if you want to add more, but there's not a ton of decals for this kit. And our instructions. And one of the main differences between GSP and G System Shop is that GSP puts their instructions on cardstock, which I like. It's easier to pin up or tape up. So again, we get a nice shot of the front of the kit, the specs again. same that are on the box. And then we get our parts layout, so you can do a parts check. So you have parts A, which is 10 pieces, which is the head. Parts B, which is about 47 pieces, and that's the upper torso. Parts C look like the legs, and there's 90 pieces for that. Part D looks like the arms and shoulders, and there's 78 pieces for that. Part E looks like the skirts, and there are 51 pieces for that. That's the front, back, and side skirts, including those thruster areas. Part F is looks like the weapons, and there's quite a few for that. 110 pieces, a lot of tiny pieces, so these may go somewhere else in the kit. Part G looks like the shield, and the shield is fairly large, and it can fold open and close, but once you've painted and everything, that's really impractical. It's just best to leave it open or closed because you'll scratch your paint. Part H, which is a bunch of detail parts, looks like pistons and such like that. There's 110 of those. And we got some PX joints, which are 26 of those. The clear resin, or sorry, these are the heat press mats, or the vacuum formed pieces. Oh no, sorry, this is a clear resin, CR clear resin. There's 7 of those. Here's the screws, some plastic rod, copper wire. Here's the vacuum formed parts, and it gives you a layout of the LEDs as well as the battery box and such like that. And we come to the instructions. And here we go. So the first step they have you do is do the arm units, and again, as with any garage kit, the arm is one step. So you kind of have to guess on how these go together. And what I've come to realize is like the blue lines are what you kind of do first, and then the red lines are what you do second. So if that makes sense. And then we have the head unit right here. And then we have the shoulders here. And these are just, they only give it to you once because the right and the left are the same. So you just do the same thing for both sides. See, nothing on the back. And then we have the leg unit here. And there's quite a few pieces for that. And this is a really impressive kit when it's all done. It looks really cool. And then we have the shield, and then the rifle. The shield's pretty complicated. It has lots of parts to it. Again, it can fold open and closed, depending on what you want to do. And then here's the backpack, and the backpack again has on this back part here, one, they can open and close because inside it holds a beam saber, so you can have it open or closed or however you want to configure that. And then this is the upper torso, or they call it the main body, and again that's fairly complicated, lots of pieces in here, so this one will take a lot of pre-planning as far as how to put it together and such. And it does have a really nice lit cockpit inside, which is really cool. So if you open up the chest, you can see the pilot sitting in the cockpit. It's a nice feature of this kit. That's not available on the 135th RX-78 or the 135th XS Gundam. Only on this one does it have the cockpit that opens up. And then here are the large rear skirts with the thrusters in them. This is what sticks out of the back, which makes it so deep. So they're pretty big. And then here's a wiring diagram on how to do the LEDs. When Matt Tomczyk did mine years ago, I know he had some difficulties with the LEDs as far as routing them and wiring them. And as usual with the G-System shop kits and stuff, the wiring on these is not the best. It's usually done pretty cheaply and there's no resistors. So I may have to do some rewiring and rerouting to get these to last as long as they should. Otherwise you need to make it so you can get into the kit and fix those if something were to happen, if an LED burns out or something gets loose. So I'm going to put those back, and then we'll get to some of the parts. You know, and I probably will just take all the pieces out because I haven't looked at this kit yet. And so I'm curious to know how this looks. So having owned the G-System shop kit before, I know what that looked like and as far as the casting goes. So it'll be interesting to see if G-System Best has improved on it or not. One thing G-System Best does a lot on their kits is they'll clean up the pieces before they remold and cast them. So like if you go on their website and you look at their 135 XS, they go through and they show you some areas where they've improved the kit a little bit. They've added some more, not added detail, but they've cleaned up some details. They've added a little bit more support on some of the thinner pieces of resin. And they do the same thing on their 1/72 Kshatriy. If you look at that, they show you where they've kind of cleaned it up a little bit. So let's take a look. Nice packaging. And right off the bat, we have the head right here. And let me get an X-Acto. I'm going to slide this off to the side here a little bit. We'll take a look at some of these pieces. So the V-fin looks really, really good. Nice and sharp. Hopefully you can see that. Nicely done. And here's the head. And I'll just kind of dry fit that together to give you a sense of the size. I can tell right away, comparing this to the G-System shop kit that I owned years ago, that this is a superior casting. I mean, it looks really, really sharp. The panel lines are super crisp. I'm going to lower my camera a little bit here, guys. And my battery's going to may run out in the middle of this. I may have to pick it up after I charge the battery a little bit. So we'll see how far we get into it before the battery dies. If it dies, I'll charge and come back. Oops, sorry. I should hire like Dave or someone to do my videos. They have all the cool intro music and all that jazz going on. Mine's so simple. My videos are kind of boring, but whatever. It is how I do it. So hopefully you guys get something out of them. Again, so here's the head. Really, really nice. Super crisp. Here's the top of the head. Looking really good. The neck. Really sharp. So just right there out of the gate, those pieces are really, really nice. Here we have, I'm not going to open up these smaller bags, but here we have a bunch of the pistons and stuff. You can see there. And those look pretty good. There's a seam line on them, which is expected to be on all these round pieces. You can kind of see it there through the plastic. So, whoops, sorry. A little sanding there, we'll take care of that. Priming and sanding. And these guys will need some masking because I'll paint the piston part chrome or whatever, or mask it off. Paint these areas red and black. Here are the shoulders. Yes, the shoulders. Take a look at those because these have some nice inner detail. I'll just take one out for now because they're all the same. So here's the cover. And these parts are molded very nicely. These tend to get lost in the molding, and they're super sharp on this guy. Inside there's nothing. Really, really crisp. That looks really good. Super happy with that. And those all are all the same, so I'm not going to open them all up. And it just, so this will probably get a magnet or something so I can take the armor on and off. But so that kind of goes like that, and you can take the armor off. Show the inside. Pretty cool. Let's put that to the side. So I've not done a parts check yet, so I don't want to lose anything. Here we have some of the leg pieces. Again, I'm just going to take a few pieces out to show you the casting. I don't know about you guys, but that looks really, really good. And they're using this yellow resin. And I you know, to be honest, I prefer either a gray or yellow resin over the white resin because when you're sanding, if it's white resin, the dust is white and you can't see really what you're doing. The yellow resin, when you sand it, the dust also turns kind of white and it gets stuck in all the little crevices and stuff so you can see where you're standing. Super sharp. So those look really good. What else we got in here? Again, another bag full of small little detail parts. I'm not going to open these because I don't want to lose any of them, but maybe you can kind of tell through the packaging how well those are casted. So if you want to get stuff from GESB, they do have a website, but I suggest if you want to order something from them, contact them on Facebook. I don't know what it is, but if you send them an email through their website, it may be a week or a month before you hear anything back. So they're really slow to communicate through their website, and I'm not sure if it's a communication gap, like a language gap or what, but it takes forever. So this is the part that goes on the crotch and holds the skirts. So the lower torso will attach to one side and the upper torso goes on the other. So nothing really detailed there. Let's see what we got in here. This looks like part of the torso maybe? I don't know, but it's sharply casted. Very well done. Nothing soft on these parts. Detail's really good. And this looks like this may hold on to skirt of some sort. Whoops, did I drop it? Typically those balls are where skirts attach. That's looking good. So again, this is going to be in my someday pile. So I've got to get through a bunch of commissions still and all that fun jazz. I'm not going to open these, but because they're all smooth, there's no detail in them, but they look really good. Pretty nice. Another bag of small parts. Some vents, some detailed mechanical pieces. All very nicely done. So if you guys are in resin and you want to spend a little bit of money, don't be intimidated by these large kits because they're actually not that hard. They're actually easier than some of the smaller kits just because the pieces are big. Again, got some nicely detailed casted pieces in here. This is actually, yeah, I'll say this is, the G-System shop kit was maybe like an 8 out of casting, maybe 7.5. I'd give this like a solid 9, 9.5 as far as the quality goes. It's not Neo grade, but it's pretty darn close. I'm going to open up this up because it has some of the detailed pieces. So this is the inside of one of the calves. Looks really good. Look at all that fun detail you can paint. And then what else we got in there? Got more calf pieces, calves. I'm not sure what this goes to. This looks like a skirt maybe. But again, nicely done. Looking good. Alright, so here is part of those rear skirts I was talking about that makes this kit so deep. Sorry, I'm off camera unpacking this. So the way these work, I really can't do it because I don't have the other pieces, but I can kind of show you how long these guys are. Here's a thruster. If any of you guys are familiar with the GPO3, there's a thruster that goes between these two pieces that is a connection point for these. So these kind of go something like this. They're very long. So I can't even fit it in my frame. So pretty long. That's like 2 feet right there. But these look great. So I'm going to paint and mask all that detail inside, all those recessed areas. That's actually fairly simple to do. These look really good. Very nice. So I'll put a link down below the video on how to get a hold of G-System Best on Facebook. Like I was saying, I've ordered from them directly in the past, but it's a very long process. Sometimes taking a month or longer to complete the whole process, just because, like I said, they don't ever get back to you. Again, I'm not going to open these because there's a bag of small parts, but Very clean, very sharp. These look really good. Alright, so we're 20 minutes into this video and I haven't gotten through the first box yet. So let's see if we can... Oh, here's part of the shield. Or most of the shield, I should say. So the way these work is, let's see. So basically, this is the left and the right, and these can open and close when everything is put together. Again, nicely detailed. Nice panels, recessed panels to paint and detail those out. These are for the backpack. These are the areas that can open and close, where the beam sabers are held. And these actually have a ton of detail inside too. So I'll probably go in and detail all that just because if it's open you'll see it. So I'm not sure exactly. I don't have the rest of the pieces here, but really nice. Really clean. Glad I got this kit again. So in the past I've owned all these kits, and then I was out of work for quite a while, so I had to sell a bunch of stuff in order just to pay the bills. Now I have a full-time job and I do all these commissions and stuff, so it allows me to buy these kits. My commissions allow me to support my hobby and contribute to my family at the same time, which is nice. These are all the parts of the cockpit. I'm not going to really open it because I don't want to lose them, but this is the opening where the chair would sit. The chair is in here too, but again, I'm not going to take them all out, but there's the chair. I don't know if you can see it. It's in there, but it looks really, really nice. Alright, almost done with box one. I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit since we're getting kind of long-winded. Part of the backpack again. This is the main center piece right here. And you can see right there, nicely detailed and molded. Again, I'm not seeing any casting issues in this at all. It looks really, really good. So, my guess is they took the G-System molds and cleaned them up. Here's part of the shield again. It's like the center area of the shield, so this is where the other two areas plug in, and it can open and close. And some massive foot parts right here. Let's open this up real quick. Take a look at some of these. Let's see, I think, yeah. So here's a toe. This is part of the knee right here, underneath the knee armor. Looking pretty good. Here is the ankle. Nice beefy piece to hold all that weight. Let's see. So here's the foot kind of put together, the inside of the foot at least. The toe, the ankle, it goes like that. And then there's another piece that'll go on here, a rounded piece which I haven't gotten to. And this will sit on top of that. And then this should be molded at the correct angle. So looking really good there. Here is part of the inner leg. Again, really nice detail. So my plan is once this is done, is when I take it to competitions or to Wonderfest, I'll display it with half the armor on and the rest of it on. Sorry, half the armor on, half the armor off. So I'm going to put all that work into the frame. I want to show it off. Okay. And here's some arm parts. I'm not going to take these out, but I think you can get an idea of what they look like through the bag. Very nice. Some more piston detail parts. There'll be lots of fun masking on these guys to get those all looking pretty. Nicely done. Thruster bells, I'm going to pull one of those out because they look really good. Thruster bells is always a good If the thruster bells are casted really nicely with hardly any seams, that's a good sign of a good casting, because and these look really sharp. There's a little bit of a seam right there, but that'll be super easy to get out. It's very negligible. But they're nice and round. They're not warped or just, they're not misshaped. And those will be easy to clean up. Let's put that back in the bag. Alright, and got a few more pieces there. Okay, so I'm going to throw this all back in this box here. Let's see if I can get it packed as well as they did. They had it packed really, really well. I mean, it was perfect. And then we'll go through box number 2. See what we got in there. Some smaller bags down the bottom here. So, here. I'm going to try to get this packed the way they had it. But it was super, man. I know they have like guys just, their job is to figure out how to pack this stuff, but they did a really good job on it. And as most of you know, once you unpack one of these big kits like this, it hardly ever goes back the same. So my goal is to get it packed in there safely and make sure nothing breaks. So if you guys watched my Kirin unboxing a couple weeks ago, that was not packed well at all. Unfortunately, and it's a beautiful kit. So today I'm going to go through and do a parts check on this kit, as well as the Kirin. Make sure I've got everything, that there isn't major damage on the Kirin, because I really haven't done a really good quality check on it yet. So looks like I'm going to get in there pretty well. Nice and flat. So the lid can go back on, which I think so. Oh, wait. Almost there. Yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, I'm going to put the instructions back in there. See, my battery's still good? Battery's still good. This is a long video, guys. Again, sorry. My long-windedness, but it takes a while to look at these kits. Box number 2. And in here we are greeted by the vacuum form clear pieces right there. The rubber cording for details, and there's some like polycap material in there. Got our screws. There's wires here. I don't see any LEDs, but there's wires in battery boxes, so maybe the LEDs are somewhere else, or maybe they don't give you the LEDs of the GSP kit. Clear resin pieces. Here's the PX pieces. These are kind of like hinges and stuff where parts move. And I'm not going to take anything out of the bags on these. I think you guys get an idea, but here's the rear skirts, the front and rear skirts, and those, again, these inner parts come out so you can show off the detail. But those look really, really good. Here is the beam rifle. Man, guys, this is really sharp. It's super, super nice. Here is part of the side skirt. Here, nice inner detail again. Very nicely molded. Really sharp. This is also part of the side skirt. The side skirts on this guy is pretty complicated, but they're really cool. Alright, here's the cap armor, and these all get lights, so those will light up. Here is, part of the torso. Really nicely detailed there. That'll be fun to hand paint. And then we got the chest here. Look at all the detail in that chest. And all that's visible too. So that'll look really good when it's all done and painted up. Alright. I'm going to try to keep this down to 40 minutes, so I'm going a little quicker now. Here's the crotch area. Again, really nicely detailed, good molding. Yeah, this is way better than the G-System Shop kit. Someone told me that they use the same molds, but I don't know. I think GSB cleans these up and then remolds them. Really sharp. All the screw heads are super sharp. I haven't seen any resin sludge anywhere, which can be a problem with recasts. I know Jim, Gunpla Fixation, Jim and Boo, he bought the Xeon conversion from them, and he's got some soft detail on it. So my guess is they didn't clean those molds up, they just recasted it without doing any cleanup. Armors. These are for the arms. So on the GP03, you guys know that underneath the arm, like a big claw comes out. These are the covers for those. And those can extend on this kit. Speaking of which, here's some of those pieces right there. There's part of the claw. And the other pieces in there too. Alright, here is the side of the body. And this is the top of the chest where those really nice details will show through. And inside we have the left and right side of the torso. I'll open up that piece so you can see that. Oh, I see LEDs in the bottom. We're getting there. We may get this done before my battery dies. After all, let's see. And just open these guys so you can get a sense of the size. Okay, so here's the left and the right. So this is the inside of the torso. God, look at that. Looks great. Man. And then these will, they're not going to fit on right now, but these will, because I don't have any other pieces to support it, but this will come in like this. So good size. Alright, what else we got here? This is part of the backpack. Looking really good. Here are the distinctive knee armors for this kit, which I really like. I think it's a cool design. Looking good. And I think that's all I'm going to pull out. There's feet. Here's LEDs. Oh, they're not pre-wired though, so we got the LEDs. All the wiring, so when you're done you can plug and play, and some extra wire to do that. So there you go. That's the GP03S from GSB. I would, if you want to get this kit, call GSB, contact them on Facebook. I'll put a link down below and snag it, because it is really, really freaking nice. Oh, there's a tab right here. So this is how big the upper torso is. Good size. Yeah, this looks really great. I'm really happy with it, and the price is right for this kit. You get a ton of resin, and it's not that difficult, guys. If you're interested in doing a big kit like this, don't be intimidated. Just, you know, it's all about how much time you put into it. If you're willing to put some time into and, you know, plan things out, it's not that difficult. There's just a lot of it. So resin takes a lot of prep work, a lot of sanding, a lot of priming. So a lot of people are intimidated by resin, but it's very similar to doing plastic, but it's where you spend most of your time is the prep work. And there's also quite a bit more masking, because, you know, like on this part right here, we have all these inner details. On a Bandai kit, a lot of that would have been molded separately, so you would be able to paint those individually. Not in a resin kit. It's not practical to do that. So there's lots of masking involved. And if you follow my Utopia Cast Kshatriya build, you can see how much masking I did on that kit. It was a ton. But anyway, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that unboxing, and I hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions about this kit or any other G-System kit, be it GSB or G-System kit, I pretty much know everything about all the kits, because I've, at one time or another, I think I've owned every G-System shop kit / GSB kit. Do I still own them all? No. You know, I go through phases where I buy, I sell, I trade. Some kits I just won't get rid of, because someday they'll get billed. Whether my kids are around or after I retire, I'll plan to do later. So again, as always, thanks for watching. This is Matt Mrozik, aka MVM397, signing off, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye.